One of the oldest purebred breeds in existence is the Silkie chicken. Although the exact date of discovery and origin is unknown, this breed is thought to have originated in China. According to experts, India or Java may have been the origin of the phenomenon. However, the fact that these birds are also known as a Chinese silk chicken pretty much puts the question of where they came from to rest. According to some, the Silkie chicken originated in China during the Han Dynasty in 206 BC. So in any case, the breed originated in Asia, and Du Fu, a Chinese poet who lived between 712 and 770 AD, may have been the first to describe it. Silkies appear to have traveled in Europe with traders who used the Silk Route. The historic Silk Road connected China with modern-day Iraq. There were other auxiliary roads that led into Europe and the Balkan countries. Marco Polo wrote about his travels in Asia in the 13th centuries and made his reference to the hairy chicken in the first existence written description of them. This appears to be the earliest mention of the breed in sources from the West. In the Chinese city of Kenjianfu, Polo notices and describes a peculiar kind of chicken. One statement reads, "The people of Kenjianfu survive by trading crafts and have a considerable store of silk, ginger and galangal. This fowl had feathers that appear to be fur. The female chickens are especially lovely. And I must tell you about a peculiar occurrence that happened there. You should be aware that they have a particular breed of birds with only hair, much like a cat's fur, and no feathers. They are entirely black, lay eggs like other birds, and are delicious to eat. The Silk Road, an important trade route for spices from the east, was likely the route taken by Marco Polo's Silkie chickens on their return trip to Europe. When Ulisse Aldrovandi, an Italian naturalist at the University of Bologna, produced a treatise on chicken husbandry in 1598 and characterized the Silkie as cloth, with hair like that of a black cat, the breed was very certainly already present in Europe. It was claimed that the Silkie chicken was the result of a chicken and rabbit mating, when it was originally introduced to the European public in the 1800s. To pique people's curiosity, several dishonest vendors offered Silkies for sale, and it was also displayed as a bird mammal in touring freak show. The following was written about them in the Française Gazette, a newspaper that's been around since 1888, by one of the oldest breeders, the Reverend R.B. Woodgate. Japanese Silkies are a very excellent variety of good service as winter layers, and, having hardly constitutions, will live and do well in a small pen, garden or yard. Whilst mothers or nurses of banthams, peasants, or the more fragile breeds of poultry, they simply stand unrivaled. A few other quotes from non-famous writers in history are: "A further peculiarity is seen in the color of the skin and flesh, which is a deep violet, almost black, whilst the face, comb and wattles are of a deep blue or purple color, with legs and feet being blush black. It is the only fowl which base color of flesh and skin of this kind. For one of which we have heard of in Ceylon is probably of the same family, and when we cook there it's no less tempting bird to be seen. Looks no more make the fowl than the coat as the man, and the flavor of the flesh is excellent, the white silky feathers relieved by dark purple flesh." Before the breed was formally recognized in North America, it took some time. In 1874, Silkie hens were admitted to the standard of affection and received formal recognition in North America. Banthams, which are smaller than ordinary chickens, are the type of Silkies that are rarely available in North America. They weigh roughly half as much as typical chickens, and their eggs are around 2/3 of the size of the typical egg. Silkies of the standard size are sold in Europe, but they haven't yet crossed the water.